Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps. My co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. You are listening to the Married at First Sight Australia Season 8, Episodes 31 and 32, I think, isn't it? It's
I've
the
got
reunion
with you.
episodes.
It's
31
the
and
reunion.
32, yeah. I had the wrong screen open. So, oh my word, what a great start, Chris. And I tell you what a great season. I know we say it every time we get to this one, but my word, there's no let up, is there, with these two reunion episodes?
Oh my word. And obviously, you know, we've sat and we know these were aired earlier in the year in Australia, but in the UK, they've literally just finished this week. I mean, they finished like last night sort of thing, or the night before. It's unbelievable, Dave, that this show, and I can see the buzz on the social media, and it's great because, you know, right, we've got our social media channel, and you do see the odd thing. I've seen nothing on this, nothing at all. And once it's finished and we're going through it, and my jaw was on the floor, I just couldn't wait to speak to you, Dave. And I know our friends on Facebook have all said to us, wait until you see, I think Hennessy had said, like, wait until you see Love Island Australia, which we are going to be doing.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what to expect, because this for me has been top tier all year. What we've done, some great shows and some proper bobbings ones, but this has been my favourite by a long shot.
I tell you what, it is funny. So we had some messages coming through from Instagram as well, and people saying about, please just do Love Island Australia. It is brilliant. So now that we're about to finish off maths, we'll definitely get on that for next week. But Chris, which of the couples would you like to talk about first?
Look, they're all a bunch of bastards, Dave. Let's be honest. I think pretty much everyone. Now, I mean, there was just proper jaw on the floor stuff. I think obviously the first reunion, they concentrated a lot on Coco, Cameron, Sam, didn't they? The two Sam. Sam, the guy who was with Coco, and Sam, who was with Cameron. And honestly, what a pair of lying fuckers Cameron and Coco were. Unbelievable. Did you sleep together? Yeah. But not afterwards. Fuck off. They have been dabbling. When they were going to the gym, Dave, they were definitely not just lifting weights and spotting each other. That for me was amazing, but it's everyone's facial expressions. Everyone's like, oh my God. It was the first episode was brilliant.
Patrick was like, you kept dead quiet, guys.
Yeah. Again, he has no filter, does he? He has no filter. Unbelievable. And you're right. I mean, you look at there, Coco was just in it. Like I say, there's a few on this one, but if she was a lollipop, Dave, it's an old saying, she'd fucking lick herself. Loved herself. Cameron was a snake. But Sam, I mean, he goes after Bryce. He goes after Cameron. He's taking the piss out. He is a nasty little shit. But however, he's brilliant because, again, he's got no filter either.
You know, we didn't call out the fact that, you know, at the dinner party, he kept going after Cam, didn't he? He's like, you all right, big dog, you're all right, getting plenty of protein.
Yeah, protein.
Look, he could just fucking drop you if he wanted to. But yeah, Sam, I don't like him, and I agree with you. He's a nasty piece of work. But some of his facial expressions, I was quite enjoying, to be honest, because again, he's got very little filter, and if he's upset, you know, everyone knows about it. But I thought that was so, you know, it was so uncomfortable but brilliant, where they were basically showing, you know, Coco saying, oh, there's nothing there, you know, saying to everyone and saying, Sam, you know, everyone in the room is just discussing the fact that, you know, we have a good connection and stuff. And I just feel, you know, compelled to come and tell you. And it's like, no, there you are. You're fucking having these secret conversations. You're texting each other all the time and you're snogging away. And it was just a brilliant play by the producers to absolutely throw them under the bus there. And again, you know, at least Cam came out and said, oh yeah, it is cheating. Whereas Coco was really struggling to wrap her head around the fact that it was cheating. She felt like she was doing everything above board.
Yeah, she was doing God's work, Dave. She was saving Cameron. What a load of bullshit. And you're right, fantastic TV. I mean, I watched this first one and I was like, I cannot wait for the second one. And I knew they were saving stuff because we'd not gone through some of the more prominent couples at the time. But again, we got like, even the Jake, we even got a bit of Bryce and Melissa again. And that way they went into the second episode. But what I love, Dave, is the sly arses. And that guy, the fucking so-called expert, he sat there and he's pissing himself because they're using behind-the-scenes footage that we've not even had been privy to out the contestants. And I was like, this is amazing. Look at the UK one. We had fucking Bob and that girl who copped off with Jordan, who you could tell she was on it because she wanted to, she was a wannabe. I mean, I'm pretty much sure all they were, but she'd been in a family. Her brother had been on the other date on Singletown and all that. So they're obviously trying to make a career out of social media. She copped off with that guy and then decides that, as if it was Bob's fault and made Bob look terrible. And I was thinking, I bet off camera, she is a nightmare. And I believe she was a nightmare. She wasn't the only one. There was other people on there who were nightmares. I mean, Jordan was horrible to everybody on that show. I thought it was a right bellend. But they didn't show any of that in the UK one. But this Aussie one, they did. And I was like, me and Sam were watching it there going, holy fucking shit, this is amazing. The reunion was the icing on the cake for me. It was fantastic.
You know what? So let's stick on Bryce and Melissa then, because Melissa has consistently been thrown these facts and rumors and all sorts about Bryce, and it all came out, didn't it? It was basically undeniable, and it finally became clear to me, Chris, that Melissa, it's not that she doesn't care. But I think why she gets a bit upset sometimes is she knows that Bryce has done this. She knows, and she's getting annoyed at everyone making it undeniable. Like she just can't get away from it. She knows what he's done. She's prepared to get past it and can't see why everyone else is making it their business to, call Bryce out. Because, I mean, especially when his mates threw him under the bus, basically. I mean, it was telling, wasn't it? He's moved away now, hasn't he, from the area, and I'm not sure they're friends anymore. But it was like, you know what, Melissa's she's got her man, if you like, and she's prepared to look past all these little indiscretions. The whole gift, that came out that was true. And Beck was loving it, wasn't she? She was absolutely loving it at that point. But Chris will come on to them later because she wasn't loving it quite so much a bit later, was she?
No, and you're right, Dave. That was the fucking best bit of the whole show for me. Unbelievable. But
we could go on to that if you want. I mean, should we just talk about that now? Because that was amazing. That was literally the bit where my jaw was on the floor and I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. So, like I say, when the stuff was coming out about Bryce, Beck thought it was the best thing in the world. And, as part of the reunion, so in the first episode, they'd had the dinner date, hadn't they? Like the dinner party. And, Beck had come in with a dress to die for, hadn't she? She wanted to make a statement that, Jake, look at this. This is what you're missing out on. And apparently there'd been a bit of an indiscretion. So Jake had apparently smooched Booker at was it a New Year's do?
New Year's, yeah.
So, it's this big thing, and Beck is completely put out, despite the fact even Booker herself says it was nothing. It was just like this, it's just a friendly kiss. There was nothing romantic about it. But she was really playing the victim there, wasn't she? Old thingy face, Beck.
Yeah, Beck. Because I tell you what, and you're right, she was putting Jake under that bus completely. And Booker's like, looking, what the hell's going on? Now, have you seen the kiss, Dave?
I haven't. Have you?
I've seen it. So what I will say, it wasn't a peck on the lips.
Right.
Right. So what it was obviously they sat together. It's probably some PR event or whatever they were at. And one of the other, obviously, it was one of the other contestants was filming it. Wasn't she, that one who was with that guy who wanted to go out biking all the time because she didn't? Yeah, George. Is it George? No, the older couple, the guy with the glasses.
Yeah. The one who loves his steak.
His steak. And they weren't compatible from the beginning. She was crying, wasn't she? But she'd filmed it, and she said it was anything in it. However, when you watch it, it was one of them kisses where they looked like they had a bit to drink. They went in to say Happy New Year, and it was a little bit longer than just kissing someone affectionately to say, Happy New Year or whatever. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily kiss someone on the lips if it was New Year's Eve. It wasn't, it was a friend. I'd probably kiss them on the cheek or whatever. But it was a slightly longer than average kiss, Dave. So I can sort of see Bex's approach to that. And I mean that I do not like Bex at all. And I cannot wait.
If they were a couple, Chris, what have you seen in the previous 30 episodes?
Exactly.
To suggest that they were a couple.
Nothing at all. And she made out that they were together. And he said, I made the effort to come to you. You spent 3 days with me in 30 days or whatever it was, time limit. She didn't want anything to do with him. She fucked him off. He was like, I was just lonely. I was out. And honestly, Dave, you'd have to have a look at it because it's not a snog at all, but there is that sort of lingering kiss effect to it. And then they pull away. Do you know what I mean? And they're like laughing. So there is a little bit of spice there, but let's step forward to the real drama, Dave. So Bex, or whatever you want to call her, has been the fucking moral virtue throughout this whole show. She's been horrible. She's a spoilt brat. Her own mother is an absolute joke because she was defending her absolutely outrageous behaviour. I'd like to think as parents of girls or women, obviously John's 21, that sort of a woman, that I would still...
Yeah, you have to remind yourself though, don't you?
No, yeah, you do. Yeah, Grant, all right, fair enough. Not yet, Dave. But I do honestly think that I would, if I saw her acting wrong, I'd have it in me to tell her and say, no, that's wrong. You can't do that. That's part of all. You need to apologize. We all are wrong at times. We all do stupid things. And sometimes you've got to eat humble pie. But the fact that a mother fucking gaslights her to do it even more is a disgrace. And she was playing he's ruined my life, ruined the relationship. We were like, oh, Jake, you bellend, you've lost. I was thinking, it's like one of them things. Jake has got so many points going for him, the way she's treated him. And then he does that. And it's like, you sort of lost half your battle, Jake, because you've been a bit sneaky on that. And then, Dave, the sob story, which I wasn't buying anyway about a dog. I've got a dog, I've got a cat. If I were an all-inclusive holiday, whoever's looking after that dog, they can look after it when I'm away, Dave. I'm not coming home because of my dog. I don't know if Sam and Jordan, they absolutely love the dog and cat. And I'm not an animal, I don't completely hate animals, but in one of them things, it's just sort of like, it was seen dead fake, because I think I said at the time, I was watching it, but I had my head in my phone or my laptop, and I'm looking up watching it, and I said, is your dad all right? And I know I said this on the podcast, and Sam's like, a dad? I went, well, is a dad ill or something? Because she said a man's name. She went, no, it's a dog. And I looked at her with them fucking bullshit tears she was coming out with, and I'm thinking, have you even got a dog? I'm thinking, fuck off. It seems so fake. And Jake's like, oh, it's terrible. You do what you need to do. I'll give you space. And honestly, from the minute she said it, I was like, she's such a fucking dick that there's no way this is the truth. And lo and behold, the camera is on her with the dog. She does this fucking call to Jake or whoever she's talking about the dog. And she's there and he's there, the dog. And the dog looks like she just picked him up off the street. Doesn't look like he's her dog. And then the camera pans up thinking she's off the call, and she puts the lips, it's blurred out, but she puts the lips on a guy, and you can hear him. There's more than lips going down there, Dave. And I'm thinking, this has been your play fucking from the start. You have just wanted to get on the show. You've had no interest in Jake because you're already in a relationship. This is a Grant crap level of bullshit. However, Grant sort of did go all the way with Taylor, didn't he? Actually, went out with her, had sex with her and everything, but he actually had a girlfriend. It was all about Grant Crap's brand. Exactly what Bex has done. Same thing. And I love that expert guy because he sits there and he went, and you can see Bexy's face, and she went, it's my brother. And I'm like, fuck off.
That is brilliant. So I mean, she said it almost, I thought, with a serial killer delivery. Absolutely blood as cold as ice. You know, it must have felt so small and ridiculous, but yeah, just completely, even tone. It's my brother.
Dave. And that made me laugh.
So good. But what actually happened? I mean, she thinks she was still on the call. How did they get this footage? And you mentioned about the expert guy, and he's like, let's be clear. We weren't sure what we were looking at. Okay, Pinocchio. We just wanted some clarity about this.
It pans back to him, and he's fucking pissing himself, Dave. They don't show it on camera, and they pan away, and he's laughing his head off when he says we want a bit of clarity. And you can see her look; she's looking everywhere. And Bryce and Melissa, right? Whatever we think of Bryce, and he's a complete wanker. They had their moment. He was reveling in it, Dave. It was fucking amazing. At that point, I loved Bryce and Melissa because I thought, you know what? Whatever we think of you as a person and as a couple, and you're a farce as a couple, I don't think they've deserved all the shit that has come their way. It's been bordering on bullying at times. He's been horrible to Melissa. He had to be called out. But every episode towards the end has just been, let's get Bryce. Let's knock down Melissa and see how long we can fucking put her into some sort of bloody, on some sort of antidepressants because of Bryce. It was awful to watch. And that moment for me was one of the best moments. And it was when she said, Jake went, I know her brother. Can we wind that back? And obviously they've blurred out the guy for us. And she's panicking like fuck. And then he goes, oh, it's not your brother. And she's like, well, all right, I'm going to come and tell you the truth.
I'm going to come clean.
You're going to come clean. What? Because you lied a minute ago and you've lied all the way through this, but now you've been rumbled. You're going to tell us the truth. Like that's a moral virtue. It was fucking the biggest part of Humble Pie I've ever seen. And I loved every minute of that, Dave.
The thing is with Bryce, he's just not that smart, is he? So, he's had this girlfriend on the outside. And I do think what's happened there, he probably had the relationship when he was going in there. And it probably split up when they were halfway through or something like that. And he's just not that smart to, kind of cover up his tracks. He's obviously had this conversation with Beck in the gym and said, I've got a girl on the outside, thinking he's like 15 or something. And she's going to go, oh, wow, he's so sexy, so good. All the girls want him. He's just a bit dumb, really, isn't he? Whereas Beck, she thinks she's got all the bases covered. And then he's just fucking rumbled right at the end there, Scooby-Doo style. And I just absolutely loved it. And the fact that she was still weaving this web of lies, because she said, even after the point when she said, I'm going to come clean, it was not coming clean. It was like, okay, I'm going to give you a different version of the truth that I think is more palatable now. So basically, I just happened to ring up this old flame and we hit a spark. And then Jake's like, well, you must have been texting him. Like, because how does he know to pick you up there? And then it's like, are you together now? Yeah, we're together now. Right. So it was an old flame. And you just happened to go and meet him when, you went home for the dog and you're together now. Right. It was brilliant so TV. True. I just absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it, Chris. I've watched it twice now already.
Oh, it's amazing. I've watched that end bit so many times with Bex because it was the way and it was the old saying, my old saying, when one finger's pointing at you, I'll have Bryce, there's two pointing back at them usually because they're hiding somewhere. And she was the most obvious person that was doing the dirty on Jake, on everything else. And look, we'll get into where are they now after we've sort of gone through. But I just thought fucking brilliant TV. And that for me was my moment of the year, without a doubt.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure I felt it was obvious. I didn't see what her reasons were. It was very clear all the way through. She wasn't interested in Jake, and she was looking for any excuse to basically write off the relationship. Just the choice of words that she used. When Jake sort of leant in for a kiss, and then when she relays that story, she's saying, "Oh, he tried to shove his tongue down my throat." And it's like, but we saw what happened, and it doesn't reflect what you're saying. And then the whole thing at the start of the reunion, where she's clearly just not into him. And I'd said in the last episode, hadn't I, that Jake was really starting to piss me off, because he's basically Lloyd out of Dumb and Dumber, who's constantly like looking for that 1 in a million chance. And it just made no sense to me at all. But having seen that footage and the weak explanation that eventually came out, I just think it's clearly obvious. She was with this guy all the time. She's got whatever reasons they are for being on the show. And yeah, she was never interested, whether it was Jake, whether it was someone else. It didn't really matter. She was always going to write it off. But then, try and make herself out to be the victim. So if she's talking about these things, about how Jake's trying to shove his tongue down her throat and stuff. And, obviously he gave her a great excuse with that whole Booker kiss in the end. I just thought it was fantastic. And I have to say, Chris, I don't know about moment of the year. It is one of the reality TV moments of the last few years. I can't think. Well, I could think of a handful of, equally good moments, like when, what was his name? The guy from Manchester. Was it series 6 of Love Island, when he coupled up with someone in Casa Amor and came in and,
Callum,
to be confronted. I think it was Callum, yeah, to be confronted by Shauna. And she's like, "Congrats, hun." Well, Michael and Amber as well. That whole post Casa Amor thing. Those are the kind of explosive moments that stick out in the memory, and this was absolutely one as well.
It was, and just a quick mention of Callum from Manchester, Dave. We've done this podcast, haven't we, for nigh on 3 years now, pretty much, haven't we? We've covered loads of shows. I'm sure I slated Callum. I might with his stepmom, which I only found out this week, Dave.
Oh, really? Well, I suppose it's not that out of the realms of possibility, is it?
They are from Salford. It's where my office is based. And I was thinking, oh, fuck, what have I said about him? Don't ever go back on the podcast. It's okay.
Does she know about the podcast?
Nope. Let's do it that way, Dave. One of the lads went, hey, she's stepson's that Callum out of Love Island. And I'm like, which one? I went, this Callum. Yeah, him. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm sure we ripped him to pieces.
I can just imagine that moment. You, in that moment, must have felt like Beck.
Yeah.
You were just like, going, arse dropping out. Oh, yeah. Shit.
And then someone said that. Someone went, does she? I think one of the lads actually said later on, who's only me, he went, does she know about the podcast? I was like, no, it's old, that one anyway, leave it. I was like, fuck off.
There's a reason we don't have guests on.
Yeah, that's why.
None of them would speak to us.
remember Singletown when that one of the competitors on it?
Oh my God, yeah.
He had a pop at us, didn't he?
You fucking... No,
it was me,
no. He said you. Because you said he'd been cheating about town.
No, I said he looked like he's been cheating about town.
I don't think, listeners, if anyone wants to go back and to listen, I remember the bloke. I don't remember his name, but I think what it was, you'd got him confused with one of the other guys.
I fucked up, didn't it?
Yeah. He fucking came after you. Well, he did come after us, but I still blame you.
You blame me. You blame me. It was the social media us, which I hid behind and was like, oh, nice. Well, where have you got that information from? And I'm thinking, hang on, has he got a guilty conscience? In fact, don't go down that route, Chris. Just say, Well, it was just an observation we came to from the. I come to an observation from his dialogue, and I'm fucking digging now, Dave. But anyway, let's move on. Today, I tell you well. So obviously the Bex thing, we know how that ended. For me, Bex was the worst of the lot on this show, without a doubt. And Bryce.
Well, you've slipped back into Bex.
Beck.
We've been called out for that, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Sorry, I'm doing it again. But Beck, for me, was the worst, and Bryce was a very, very close second, because it would have been Bryce all the way until that end bit, and I was like, oh no, I can't fucking deal with someone like you. You're such a hypocrite. But Liam had a late charge. It was almost like he was 3 jumps from the end of the Grand National, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to have a go at this, and he comes steaming through. What a horrible wanker he is! Like really, really nasty with Georgia, and who the fuck are his friends, Dave? They must be an absolute gaggle of fucking arseholes, because why would you put his... And he's just the same. What an arrogant prick he was for me. I'm sorry, I'm going in on him because I thought he was disgusting.
There was absolutely no need for what he did there, was there? So, you know, that was in the dinner party, wasn't it? You know, and everyone's kind of coming in and they're guessing like who's going to come in next. And you can see she's already a bit, you know, bit nervous about the whole interaction. Didn't end in the best way. And then he comes in, and then it's the old, you know, he hugs one person, hugs the next person, just goes past her. You know what it's like, Chris? You know, it does remind me. I haven't had a good Office reference for the last few weeks. It's like when season 1 and they all, you know, they're after David Brent, asking him about the redundancies, and Malcolm's like the head ringleader, and he goes, "You're not going to lose your job. You're not going to lose your job." Goes past Malcolm. "You're not going to lose your job." It was just like that, wasn't it? He just completely blanked Georgia. And I'm making light of it, but it was pretty heartbreaking to watch, to be honest.
It was, and I'm going to be honest with you, I actually used that reference today at work. So we were talking about like a bonus scenario, and there's been his usual work stuff. Some have not been included, some have. And I said, you know what it's going to be, don't you? What? I went, it's going to be the Office. And I said the same. I went, you're not getting a bonus. You're getting a bonus. You're getting a bonus. And I skipped about 3 of them out. And one of them was like, I've never even watched The Office. And then a few of the lads are laughing, going, yeah, it's proper David Brent stuff. And honestly, I used it this morning about 6 o'clock in the morning. That's so bizarre. You just use that.
I told you, didn't I? I was on a training course, and the instructor's like, get their attention. And I was just like, I had to mute myself. I was like, fucking hell. The Office is just everywhere, isn't it? Did you ever have one of them training courses where like the instructor would put in like a picture of like a beach, or I've seen one where guys actually put a picture of a girl in a bikini going, oh, how's that got in there? Have you ever done that on a course? Have you never seen that? No. Right, so I've seen it on TV shows parodied, where people would go onto like a training course for work, and someone would have a slide or a PowerPoint thing, and they'd be doing something. And then there'd be like a picture that is nothing to do with the course. And honestly, a guy had one, and there was obviously no nakedness or anything, but it was like some woman sunbathing or on a beach. And he's like, oh, how did that get in there? And the whole room, Dave, just looked at each other going, I don't know, mate, but you're going to get sacked if you don't fucking remove, we all sat there like, that's not funny. And how would you even think? And I think there was even women on the course, and I'm like, how would you even think that that's appropriate in any fucking facet? It was I've seen it a few times. I've seen it where they put like a holiday snap. Perfectly fucking Brent-like, isn't it?
Yeah, it's David Brent. I've seen other ones where they'll put like a holiday snap of him, like they're sat there with a drink in their hand. Oh, how's that got in there? Like just. But it's one of them supposed to be like an old school icebreaker on a course. I can't believe you've never seen that.
No.
It's fucking cringeworthy every time I've seen it. It's terrible. And it is David Brent. You're completely right.
But Chris, what about Belinda and Patrick?
Well,
in the same kind of outfit.
Yeah. I mean, look, we know about the shell suits in the 80s, husband and wife, where my auntie and uncle used to wear it. Now, my uncle, God rest his soul, ex-army, he was taller than me. He was about 6'3", 6'4", big fucking bloke, Dave. He had forearms for days. He was a massive, tough bloke. But as he got older, he had a Bobby Charlton sweepover, a proper ginger Bobby Charlton sweepover, which was obviously when it went windy, it went the other way. And he wore this fucking shell suit. Now, my auntie, he must have been about 20 stone at least. My auntie was about 9 stone, if she ever was. Same tracksuit on Dave when they went to Benidorm. Ridiculous. So when you see stuff like that, I'm like, no, it's a fucking hard no from me. I don't think I've seen any couple, even people like Posh and Bex, things like that, ever pull anything off like that, Dave. It looked ridiculous. However, Belinda, I've got to give her credit from where she's come, the stories and the bullying and everything she's gone through. She has really come out of herself in this series. And Patrick, to be fair, has become quite a comical character because he just don't give a shit what he says.
Yeah, no, it is really good, really good. And like you say, because he's got no filter, and he has been a little bit annoying, I think, at different times. Putting his nose in where it's not necessarily needed. But when he's commenting on, like, Coco and Cameron, and is it Cameron? Callum? I fucking get it wrong. Cameron, it was, wasn't it?
Cameron, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, that was pretty funny. No, I quite like this couple. They're really they do seem really suited to be together, don't they? And I'm not a massive fan of the attire either, to be honest. And you've reminded me with the old shell suits there. I remember years ago, and it was fucking years ago. Obviously, Chris, my origin part of the world is not your favorite place. And for years, there's been this stereotype about Scousers in shell suits. And God, this must be 25 or so years ago. And I brought my girlfriend at the time to a match. And so I take her to the pub that I go to, before the match. Probably fucking knocked down by now, I'm saying no, it's not like stereotype, that's just something that came out of Harry Enfield years ago and stuff. And we're sat there having a drink, before the match and stuff. In walks a family of fucking Scousers, 3 fucking matching shell suits. I was like, come on, man.
Yeah, cut me a bit of fucking slack.
I'm doing my best here.
Fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He's so bad, though, isn't he? They were the cliches. But you're right. Interesting couple. And obviously, we'll talk about what happened afterwards. But honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong. I think they seem quite made for each other. Where they are, what their interests were. I think it works. I think it really works. And you look at, like, say, Jake and Bex, and they had like a fucking proper, PG fucking 13 relationship. That's why, because she was lying her fucking ass off all the way through. All Bex, I think, was bothered about being rumbled, was thinking, shit, my social media career is going to be down the toilet because I'm a liar and stuff, and all that. So I think that's what she was bothered about. But them two, absolutely fine. Just like a Jason and Alana, I'm not sure about them. They had no chance together, I don't think. I know they stayed together, but bizarre relationship. Really, just other than the sex, I think they had the sex in common. That's what they said. It was fireworks every time. Fair enough, but just didn't do anything for me. I mean, the only ones who really want to make a go of it is Johnny. I thought they were
Johnny
a great
and Kerry,
couple. Kerry, a great couple and really into each other. I love their shock face reaction, and I love when everyone's talking under the breath when it kicks off. But yeah, I think overall, this, like, the reunion was absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. And we have got a bit of tea, Dave, haven't we, on where they are now?
Yeah, so I think we've done all of the various couples, or the ones that matter, because we don't have to speak about the people who left earlier as well. So where would you like to start, Chris? So this is our where are they now? Because our perceptions are shaped by what we see on the screen. But obviously, all these people are trying to get Instagram famous. And so, well, that comes with that is good and bad. I think, what about Bryce and Melissa? Should we start there?
Well, I was going to save them for last, Dave. I have actually got a running on it. So we talked about Kerry and Johnny, left together, look totally compatible. And they're still together, Dave. They are in together. They have a dog called Enzo. They've moved in and they are more loved up than ever. So absolutely fair play to them. That's great news, I think.
Well, and obviously, because this was shot it's all produced and everything, then shown on Australian TV, and then obviously we've got it a bit later. So, where are they now really does have a bit of time, doesn't it? Because we've only just seen the episodes and time's moved on. Enough so to really see how these relationships have panned out. So, no, I think Kerry and Johnny absolutely, seem like the best kind of couple there, and good luck to them.
Yeah. And then we've got Georgia and Liam. They're not together, Dave. Georgia's single, and Liam's actually dating Samuel Levy, he was one of the characters from the New Zealand Maths, Dave. So he's in a relationship now. I don't think that was a surprise. Them two are not together. Let's be honest.
Shocker on both fronts, I have to say.
Yeah, well, Liam just disgrace at the end for me. Beth and Russell. It was Beth who took the picture of Booker and Jake. They're not together either, Dave. They have gone.
Also, shocker.
Yeah, disgusting. Now this one's a shocker. Belinda and Patrick left the show together. They were together for a few weeks, but they have split up, Dave. They have unfollowed each other on social media, and both are still single.
I thought it was all fairly amicable, though. I didn't realise they'd unfollowed each other. But I think they'd said, they'd tried to make a go of it, but they just wanted different things from life. But have you seen Belinda now?
No, I've not seen her, no.
She's dyed her hair all ginger. And she looks like... Have you ever seen Disney's Brave?
Yes, I have, yeah.
She looks like that.
All right.
Massive ginger hair thing going on. So, yeah, she's definitely out there and being incredibly loud. And, like I say, it seemed like there was no hard feelings there from what I read.
No, that's good. That's good. Well, fair play to him. If they've unfollowed each other, maybe it's just for the whole of the show. I don't know. But another couple who are not together, Dave, is Jason and Alana. Now, the reason they split up, Alana said, and this is pretty bad, is there is a behind-the-scenes video of Jason saying some rather nasty stuff about Liam. I don't know if I think it may be steering towards homophobic stuff. So that was the crux of it all, which is awful.
That's the rumor. Now, apparently, Georgia was also there. So that, if it could be, if Liam's seen that video, that the blanking that he gave her at the reunion could have been related to that as well. Now,
That's true.
I am not really sure, because it seemed to flow, didn't it, perfectly from how he behaved when he left her at the altar to how he behaved after. It didn't seem like he needed an extra push there. But yeah, that was a possibility as well. I saw someone mentioned on our Facebook group.
Yeah, that's awful. If that's true, whatever he's done, that's terrible. Now, Coco and Sam, we know they're not together. However, Coco and Cameron, they never got back together, Dave. We should see that in the reunion. That wasn't happening at all. Now, here we go for these. Now, there's two sides to this. Okay, so this one is Beck and Jake. Sorry, I'm so sorry because I'm going to be absolutely slated for that. But Beck and Jake, and they're not together. But
shocker.
He's happily loved up with Ben Mitchell, who is the guy in the video. Now, Jake's dating fitness instructor Sophie Guidolin, but they've now split up. But putting a bit of perspective on it, I think Beck was the absolute nightmare and deserved everything she got at the end. But Jake, Dave, I believe, isn't this wholesome good guy that he's portrayed. We've been called out slightly on Facebook because I believe he's a serial cheat and notorious for doing the dirty on everybody he's been with. So I think for the show, I didn't see anything he did wrong on the show as far as we saw. However, afterwards, I think he is a bit of a chasing a bit of stardom and stuff as well.
Could be. Now, I am not going to be an apologist because, we follow these characters while the show's going on. We comment on the behavior and whatever, and then I'll maybe have a little Google, for like 5 minutes to see what they're up to. That's the extent of it. But from what I'd read, like basically his ex-girlfriend was saying he's a bit of a drinker, and they'd been engaged to be married, and then he cheated. So that's you can see that he's obviously had demons in his life. You can see that he wasn't a stand-up bloke at all, and so she's just kind of confirming that. So for me, this is all it's all past tense stuff. So yeah, he's fucked up there by the sounds of it. So I'm not challenging that he hasn't done what she said he's done. But there's a bit of a difference between doing this in your distant past and doing it on the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course there is. Of course there is. Look, what we saw, I have no reason to question him, Dave, despite what's gone on the outside, well, maybe before or after. What we saw and what we were edited into showing was he was pretty much the good guy and Beck was just the nightmare. So, like I say, the Booker kiss, dubious, I'll say that. I don't think it was just this peck they made it out to be. However, I'd watch it to see. It doesn't really matter now, I suppose. But anyway, Bryce and Melissa, the couple that probably got the most airtime, the most shit thrown at him, a lot of it quite rightly at Bryce because he's an absolute cock. Now, this was obviously filmed last year, and there's a reason it was filmed for last year, Dave, because I'll tell you why. On the article that we've got here, Melissa's pregnant, but she's not pregnant anymore, Dave, because she's just had twins by Bryce, and they are happily together and in love. And my Sam is actually following on social media because the babies were born early on about the 16th of October. So they were in intensive care, make sure they were okay and incubating that. But I think they're out of the rough stuff now, and I've got a feeling that they're about to bring them home. They've brought them home, but they are loved up as can be, Dave. And I am absolutely blown away that they are together still out of everybody.
But do you not think it all makes sense? The fact that like most people in Melissa's position would have walked away, and she could have done that many times over. The kind of hazy, blurry picture just kept coming more and more into focus that Bryce had been, not completely saintly, but she was on a mission. And I think the baby, or babies, plural, I think was just part of that mission.
I think he's still a snaky fucker, but there you go, Dave.
So he is. He absolutely is. And I'd read that he's thinking of suing the production company because no one will hire him anymore. Shocker. No. But don't act like a complete douchebag.
He rang the police, while he was on the show. He rang the police. Yeah, he rang the police and made a complaint about the way he was being treated on the show. When he was famous, I'm storming out, but really I've got a bad stomach. Oh no, I've stormed out because I can't take you actually telling me the truth and fucking, calling me out for being a wanker. Yeah, he actually rang the police, Dave. That is unfucking believable.
Oh my God. I wonder which storm out that was.
I don't know, Dave. There was fucking loads of them. It was like a tsunami every episode, wasn't it? What an absolute bell end. He must have been the one that got him in tears or something. But yeah, I've read an article on it, and they said the producers had to step in.
Oh my God. But no, for me, it all makes sense. I just think, that's kind of why Melissa's absolutely prepared to turn that blind eye. And, if that's what she wants to do, I think everyone should just leave her the fuck alone. That it's worked out for her.
It has indeed. It has indeed. So, Dave, what a great series. And we put the full stop on Maths Australia, and I cannot wait for the next installment, whichever country it comes from. But they've got a lot to lead up to for me. And I know we're going into Love Island now, and that's going to be a hell of a catch up for us both. But I'm sure we'll be up to speed in no time once we get into a rhythm on it. So it's been really good. I just want to say a little thing, actually, Dave. Our good friend, Michelle Jordan from BBC Radio Berkshire, who's had us on now for nigh on 4 months, pretty regular on a Wednesday, talking about our various reality TV shows. She's actually leaving today as well. Now, we are going on in about an hour to talk to her and just, a little bit about Maths, the reunion. But I just want to thank her as well for having us on, and she's become a good friend of the show as well. She's a really nice person. So I wish her well. She's still staying within the BBC, but I'm not sure whether we'll be going on to talk about reality TV, Dave. But so for whatever, if we don't, we don't. But we've made a good friend there because she's really nice, Michelle.
No, that's awesome, isn't it? And I know you've been carrying the torch there, because with work commitments and stuff, I just haven't been able to do it. But no, it's been really good. And, hopefully we'll have some more chats in the future as well.
Yeah, definitely. And as always, guys, big thank you to all our supporters, everybody on Facebook, Chris Day's Reality TV Cast. We've had new people joining this last week again who want to talk about reality stuff. People calling us out. I love all that when we get stuff wrong. Whatever. I threw a few pictures up there of us in the band as well from 2007. That's a long time ago. And just various things on there. So get over, guys. We have to approve you and join us. If you want to follow us on social media at CD Reality Cast, and obviously if you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. And if you do want to support us a little bit more, a little bit extra, get over to Patreon, patreon.com/CD Reality Cast. So, as always, the roll call of honor for today is Michelle, Keith, Helen, Brianna, Jacqueline, Noreen, Claire, Amy, Zoe, Joanna, Helen, Libby, Katie, Dee Dee, Priscilla, Susan, Tracy, Lauren, Lucky Lulu Green, and Kent Gustafson. So thank you so much, everybody who supports us now and has done in the past. We really, really appreciate it. It's so kind of you all.
No, that's absolutely awesome. And we will get Bachelorette episode 5 recorded over the next few days. And then, Chris, it's next stop, Love Island, Australia.
It is indeed, my friend. And I cannot wait. Dave. Oh, unbelievable. Anyway, it's time to go, Dave. So you have a good evening, my friend, and I will speak to everyone again.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Bye now.